My name is Jamie Schreier. I'm the owner of Schreier Physical Therapy, and I'm joined here today with Nicole Clark.
Hi.
She's one of our, hello Nicole, one of our physical therapists in the Rockville office. And Nicole is going to demonstrate today three key stretches that every runner must do before or after the run?
After, definitely after.
After the run. And what are these key stretches going to do?
They're going to help prevent injury, and even if they're having some aches and pains, probably resolve some of those aches and pains.
Perfect. Are we ready to get started? Let's do it.
Okay.
So what is the first stretch? Demonstrate the first stretch for us.
The first stretch is a calf stretch. I'm going to stretch my right calf. So 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. The back toes are going to go slightly inward, and you're going to lunge forward, keeping the back heel down.
Okay, so we're stretching the right leg and the right calf right in here, and she's keeping her toes pointed a little bit inwards. Perfect. And how long are we holding this one for?
You'll want to hold it for 20 seconds.
20 seconds. And how many times should they be doing this?
3 times on each side.
3 times on each side. Perfectly. And what's the next stretch they can do to help them?
To help the calf, we'll
Yes.
move the feet a little closer together, move the back toes inward as before, and then you bend the back knee and kind of squat down a little bit, keeping the heel down.
Perfect. So the biggest difference in this stretch is keeping that knee bent.
Correct.
All right. And where should a runner feel this when they're doing this stretch?
You're going to feel it low, almost in the Achilles tendon.
Right in here?
Lower, correct.
Okay, perfect. Now, what do you see when someone is stretching improperly? What is kind of the common thing that people do that you can kind of make the audience aware of?
The most common mistake people make is they'll keep their toes in the back turned outward, and they'll lunge forward and actually stretch their arch and won't be stretching their calf at all.
So by turning the foot out, they'll be stretching more in this area rather than the calf.
And even the plantar fascia on the arch of the foot. Yeah.
So underneath the foot, the
Correct.
plantar underneath the foot.
Yes.
Perfect. Great. What's the next stretch? What's the next key stretch for them?
The next key stretch is the hip flexor stretch.
Great.
Okay.
Please show us.
So for this, I'll be stretching the right side.
Okay.
Kneel down, lunge forward, lean into it.
And can you kind of put where you're feeling that?
I'm feeling it right here.
Okay, and that's the hip flexor.
Yes.
All right, and that's important with runners. What makes it so important? Why is that muscle the most important, or one of the most important muscles?
If your hip flexor isn't flexible, you're not going to maximize your push off. It's going
Okay.
to affect your speed.
All right, and then potentially cause
Injury.
Injury.
Correct.
perfect. Now, how long do you hold this one?
You hold this for 20 seconds as well, each side.
Okay, and if someone, you have pretty good balance here, right? So if someone doesn't have great balance, what could they use instead of trying to balance on their knee?
You could use any kind of prop. I think a Swiffer would work very well, a yardstick, or even a stability ball.
Okay, so one of those physio ball things. Perfect, and you're holding this
Holding it for 20 seconds each time.
and each time and doing it for 3 times.
3 times
right?
each
You
time.
mentioned that. All right. So if people are doing this stretch, what do you usually see? Maybe them not doing it the best.
They will most likely be arching their back, and that tilts the pelvis and takes the focus off the hip flexor.
So arching meaning,
Like this.
Yeah.
I don't feel this in my hip flexor at all.
okay, is that potentially dangerous for the back?
It can be. It can create a pinching between the joints there, and that doesn't feel very good.
Okay, so you don't want to do that.
Do not.
So what's a way for them to feel the stretch even more if they're not arching their back?
Okay, if they're not arching their back, if you squeeze your glute muscles in the back here and push your pelvis forward just slightly, it increases the stretch and feel a little bit further down.
So squeeze the butt muscles, keeps your back flat.
Yes.
Great. Perfect. So what's the last stretch of this 3-stretch series?
The last stretch is the IT band stretch. And so for this, I'll be stretching the right side as well. The left foot goes in front of the right. Stand up nice and straight. Push the right hip outward as you lean your upper body to the left.
Okay, so we're stretching the right IT band.
Yes.
We're moving it towards the wall.
Yes.
And for all of our smart people out there who want to know what IT means, what does IT mean?
Iliotibial.
Iliotibial band. Okay. So it's a band that goes down the right side of your leg.
Correct.
Why is this stretch very important for them?
It's very important because when you're running, you have to stabilize a lot on one leg. It's a lot of stress on this, and it has to be ready to accept that stress.
Okay, so if people don't run in a normal, perfect fashion, what then happens to that muscle in that area?
It gets very tight and can cause injury.
Hence, while you're choosing this stretch.
Why I'm choosing this stretch, yes.
Perfect. And you hold that,
20 seconds,
and how many times should they do it?
3 times on each side.
All right. And then what's a common mistake that you see with runners who are doing it maybe a little bit incorrectly?
Okay, most of the time if I'm correcting someone, it's because they're bending forward. This muscle flexes the hip, so you have to make sure that you're standing in full extension in
Okay.
order to maximize the stretch.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, Nicole, thank you very much. I think that
Thank
was
you.
great. And for all of you guys out there, feel free to do these stretches and to help with your aches and pains and give you great runs with speed and endurance and all that kind of great stuff. So for Nicole Clark and myself, we'll see you out there on the trails. Bye-bye.